This is Tom, and here's another KQ Morning Show rewind from Walzer Automotive Group, walzer.com. Natasha Orbeck, Minnesota woman to have late husband's child. The Orbeck's love story began 7 years ago. Natasha, a veteran of the Army National Guard, returned home from Iraq and met Josh, a Minnesota State Trooper. They fell in love, got married, and had Amelia, who's now 3. He was so excited to be a father, Natasha Orbeck said. They wanted more kids, but in July of 2017, Josh passed away from leukemia. Today, nearly a year after Josh's passing, Natasha is 11 weeks pregnant with his baby. After the diagnosis, Josh banked his sperm, making their dream of more kids possible through in vitro fertilization, IVF. Good morning, Natasha. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful, but I have often talked about how I love tough broads, and it's the highest compliment I could pay because my mother was a tough broad, and you're taking this all upon yourself. You're a tough woman. I love that.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Oh, no, it's a great pleasure. I want to hear the whole story, how this all happened, and it's an amazing story.
You know, I was an Army medic for 10 years, so I've been in the medical field for a very long time, and the second Josh was diagnosed, my first question was, how long can we postpone chemotherapy? Because I knew that chemotherapy would destroy our chances, and I was young. I mean, I was 29 when he died, and we weren't done yet. So we postponed chemotherapy for 3 days so that I tried to take the pressure off a little bit, because we could have done it in a 24-hour turnaround, but guys don't work well under pressure. So gave him about 3 days. We did everything we needed to do on our end, sent it in, froze it, made sure that I was listed. We had hopes that we wouldn't need that paperwork, but we had already run into so many other roadblocks with paperwork of me not being on there properly and things like that, just for leave of absence and stuff like that. So we wrote me down as the person who, should he pass away, I get them, and then I get to do with them what I please. And so I just kind of told myself that regardless of what happens, like, I'm having another child. I never wanted kids until I met him. So
Really?
Yeah, I actually told my mom I was going to be a cat lady.
Well,
And then he came about, and I was like, okay, kids are cool.
So where did you meet Josh?
Online.
Oh, you met him online? Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Did, yes.
So he was a state trooper, Minnesota State Trooper, and I assume that information was available in the Match.com or whatever you used.
Yeah, so he was a police officer at the time, and I was a little skeptical because I tend to be a rule breaker / bender, we'll say. So, but yeah, I gave him a shot, and this smile it just captured me. So,
God, what a wonderful story. So, how long after you met Josh, you started dating, then you get married, and then so how long after the first time you saw that smile online until he passed away? How much time did you have together?
I was left with 7 years.
7 years, yeah. Unbelievable. How ballpark? How old were you both when you met?
I was 22 and he was 28.
28. So he died at 35. Wow.
36. Yep, he died.
36. He just
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing. Can you believe that actually and I don't want to put it this way because I'm talking to you, but my observation is it'd be hard to believe this happened to you. It should not happen.
It is tough. There's a lot of days that I question, why me? Why, especially given my past and some of the things I've seen and gone through already. There was a lot of shaking my fist at the skies and just being like, seriously, why do you keep doing this to me? But, I just keep pushing forward because forward momentum is really the only way to go. Or I would be stuck. I'd be stuck under a rock. I'd be in a really dark place. But my daughter keeps me going, and now the fact that I'm going to be able to give her another sibling, and they can almost in a sense like share that loss together because she's not going to remember him.
No.
So it's tough, but at the same time, I think we owe that to her because she didn't ask for her dad to be taken, and nor did I. So I'm just trying to do the best I can with the cards I have been given. and I was given that opportunity, so there was no way I wasn't going to take it.
So about 6.5 months from now, you're going to have another baby.
Yes.
What a story that. You know what? One thing I wanted to do, though, if it's okay with you, I want to hear a couple of Army brats talk to one another. Natasha and Brittany. You were both in the United States Army National Guard, the U.S. Army.
Mm-hmm.
So Brittany, you'd
together.
fall apart.
Yeah, no, Tom, I'm the one who told Care 11 about her story because I've known Natasha.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, I call her Jefferson because that was her last name when I met her. I met her about 10 years ago, probably, and then I went to Josh's.
Longer than that, girl.
Yeah, okay. Well, don't eat. Oh.
Like, I know, it's not age ourselves, but we'll say ballpark 10 years.
And so it was so crazy. She called me last week, and because I went to Josh's funeral about a year ago, and she called me last week, and she's like, "I've got this exciting news. I'm pregnant," and I even told her, like, I didn't mean this as a disrespectful question, but I said, "Who's the dad? Like, good, get it, girl. Like, wow." And she goes, "It's Josh," and I was like, mind blown. I'd never heard of it. I mean, you hear about these things in movies, but I was just. I mean, I literally was speechless. It was very inspiring. I talked to Natasha for a while about it, and I got her in touch with, our friend Camille at Care 11. And
I love Camille.
I know.
Camille's great.
She is great, and she definitely did the story justice. And it's just, I mean, we always talk about looking for these great stories, these good stories, and Jefferson / Orbeck / Natasha. She's the real deal, and it's pretty cool and very inspiring.
So, Natasha, I have to ask you a question. Was Brittany a total candy ass in the Army? Be honest.
Was she really?
No. But we were both
damn
completely
it.
ridiculous. We were both completely ridiculous. I'm just going to throw that out there. Oh, my gosh, yeah. Oh. If I told you some of the things I've done and some of the pictures it's just, when medics get bored, we do stupid stuff.
Well, I suppose that's great news for the people that you're delivering that medicine to.
Yeah.
That's really great news.
Are you still friends with Josh's family?
I am. They are wonderful. They were actually just over for dinner the other night. So they actually are the reason I'm able to work. They come and help me take care of my daughter when I have to work late because I work as a nurse now. I don't do dumb stuff when I'm on the nursing docket, just so you know.
Good. That's good.
Because I'm not there.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
So they help with Amelia a lot. My family's in the cities, and I have 2 very young sisters. So my mom's not as readily accessible, but she tries to be as accessible as she can. So my family support system is great. My Army support system is great. My law enforcement support system is wonderful. So I'm surrounded by so much support that even those few naysayers, I'm just kind of like, whatever, go back under the bridge that you're trolling. So
Natasha, before the summer is out, you could have an ultrasound and know the sex of the child. Do you want to know? And if it's a boy, would he be named Josh, or that's not a decision you've made yet, or you're ready to make?
So names have been decided. Josh and I actually had picked names because, we weren't done. And I will absolutely find out because I don't like surprises.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely. It's a great story. As I said, I love tough women. It just, growing up under one, my mother, she was just like, this is how it's going to go, and that's just how it is. And if you don't like it, tough up. I love that. She took charge, and sounds like, getting Brittany to back off is not the easiest thing in the world. So. She just laughs, and that's it.
Sergeant Orbeck.
Why don't we stay in touch over the next 6.5 months, and we'll find out how things are going.
Absolutely. Hopefully, I'll be able to find out in 2 weeks here. So we'll see. It's exciting. It's scary, but it's mostly exciting, and I'm just so grateful that I have the strength to do this because I don't know many people that would do this.
Well, the only missteps in your life is you need to pick better friends, but that's about it.
That we can all agree on that.
But I love Brittany.
Oh, here we go. Now I got to hear that all day. Natasha, thank you. But do please stay in touch. I'd love to hear how things are going.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
It's our great pleasure. Natasha Orbeck, Minnesota woman to have late husband's child. She is 11 weeks pregnant. Great story.
I love you. She's just so awesome. I just love her. She's so strong. And I remember driving to St. Cloud for the funeral, and I couldn't stop crying. And then I see her, and she's so strong, and she's just doing the next thing she needs to be done because she is young, and she has her whole life ahead of her. And I'm really proud of her, and it's just so cool.
This is Tom Bernard. You just heard another KQ Morning Show rewind from my guys at Walzer Automotive Group, walzer.com. Hear today's entire KQ Morning Show on demand at 92KQRS.com, the KQ mobile app, or on iTunes.